Yeah, please, Kathy. Keep talking, just anything, you know. We're here at a showground.
We're at the county show in Wiltshire. First time in harness.
Walk on. Walk on.
Here we have 2 Palomino.
But make, yeah. Leave it off. Leave the siren off and just speak into it.
Oh, that's what you do.
Yeah.
Well, here we are at the Wiltshire County Show with our 2 beautiful Palominos. Taking them over the bridge.
He's going to go round him now with the siren. You can see Barry's not got his feet on the brakes. You can see both of his feet up on the dash. There's no one at their heads. We've got horses down in the far field, the reindeer in this field, which they've never seen before. Baz is going to hold the reins up slack, so you can see they're just standing there. I'm going to start the inflatable up, and Kathy's going to go around with the siren. So Kathy and I are now going to take these 2 Morgans out of harness and put them 2 again on grass in an open space. The driver of them, had asked us to do this because she was concerned that although we could put them 2 in a yard where they were tied on the wall, she wanted to be able to put them 2 when she was at a showground. So they've just had all the noise and excitement of the loudspeaker, the sirens going over the bridge, going around the arena. So they haven't been far today, they haven't actually done a lot of distance, so they're still what we would call quite fresh, as well as having all the noise which would naturally put the horse on edge a bit. So you can see Kathy's holding on to them and I'm just going around undoing all the traces. We've got a single female holding on to them because there's going to be lots of women around handling them and putting them to, so there wouldn't be much point in having Barry there holding their heads because that wouldn't prove anything. What we want to show is that 2 females are capable of putting them to. The other thing to bear in mind is that the road runs just the other side of this hedge, so you get the noise of cars coming past, brushing the hedge and making a noise, which isn't something we can predict either. So it's not like they're in a quiet place, there's unpredictable noises going on as well. So you can see we're just taking them off, taking the reins off of the driver. It may not be the conventional way of doing it, but what we're showing here is that we've got the confidence in the horses. We know that they'll stand still when they're asked to. We know that they're going to be happy being taken out of harness and being put back to the vehicle, just with us at their heads walking them round. So you can see there's just the two of us who are going to be doing this. We haven't got, a person holding on to each horse and another two people to do either side of the traces. We're going to have one person holding on to the horses and the other person putting them to. So we have to do lots of swapping around from side to side. And what we're going to do now is take the horses away from the pole, and we're going to walk them round behind the vehicle and bring them back up to the vehicle. So you can see we're each taking a horse away. They're seeing each other round behind the vehicle again, and then they're being brought straight back to, which is also an unusual thing for them to do. Normally when they're taken out of harness, that's them finished for the day. They don't normally get put back to the vehicle as soon as they've been taken out. So again, it's a different routine. It's something that could potentially unsettle them, and this is why we're trying to do it like this, to try and prove that the horses are happy being taken off and put to again in an open space, just with two female grooms doing everything on the ground. So you can see I'm asking this horse to move over, shoving him over. He's not retaliating at all. Perfectly fine standing there. This is also the more nervous of the two horses that I'm putting to first. So you can see he can't rely on his mate, i.e. the near side horse, to stand still and hold the carriage. He's being put to first, so if he was going to dance about and act silly, he hasn't got anything anchoring the carriage. So this just shows that he will stand still. If you look at the horses, they've got their legs at rest, they're not bothered. And I'll say again, it may not be the conventional way of doing things, but what we're doing here is showing that the horses are happy being put to. Now normally we don't believe in having a groom standing in front of their heads, for the simple reason that if anything did happen and the horses jump forwards, they're going to flatten the groom in front of them, and they've got nothing to stop them. So it's not something we believe is a sensible thing to do. We normally like putting them to on a wall, as you can see, where they're chained up so they can't get loose. They're held securely without needing a groom to distract them or feed them titbits. But because these people show, and obviously they've got to follow the British Driving Society rules and regulations, then we need to put them to in the traditional manner. So you can see Kathy's holding on to them. I'm just putting this horse to, giving the reins back to Barry. And obviously it takes longer as well, having just one person do everything. So it means the horses have got to stand still for a longer period of time. But you can see they haven't fidgeted, they haven't moved, they're just standing nice and quietly, nice and relaxed. Barry's holding them on a nice loose rein. I'm just doing the coupling reins up. So they don't need somebody hanging on to them. They'll come over when they're asked. You can put the traces on, make the noise behind them, ask them to move over, come backwards when they're told, and they'll stand still quite happily to be put to, which, considering that was one of the major problems the owners had before they sent them to us, this is what we've managed to achieve, that they can be put to happily in an open space by two female grooms. Now what Barry's going to do is something to unsettle them. So they've moved forwards a little bit. They think they're going off somewhere. This is a type of thing that could happen at a showground. Something unexpected startles them. You can see thrown right down onto the pole head between the two horses. They have a startle as it comes past their heads, but then they're back standing there. Bearing in mind there's nothing in front of them. If they'd wanted to run away, they could have done so. There'd be no stopping them. They're in Liverpools wrapped with latex. But if you look at the reins, Barry isn't hanging on to them, and they're quite happy to stand still calmly.
We can't do any more than what we've done with these horses in the time we've had them. Bearing in mind what they've been through, I don't think they're doing bad. Come over there and you can see the pole being smashed between them as we come over the rough ground, and the fact that the pole's come up and hit one of them in the mouth or on the bit, and they're standing here as quiet as lambs. So I can't do any more in the time I've had them. It's down to whether you can drive them now. So they don't want any nonsense. They've got to gain your respect. They've got my respect and I respect them. The secret to these horses, or any horse come to that, is they've got to have respect for you. Now if you like start letting these step out of line, they will lose their confidence. It's as simple as that, and the money's been wasted. But I can't do a better job than I've done in the 8 weeks they've been here, considering what we had to work with. Saying is, you can see we can do it, but whether Barry Hook can do it, or whether you can, that's what we've got to see. I've made them as best you can. You see my Kathy, who's been helping us today, she's driving, but it's not whether we can drive them. You see anybody drive them, you know, that's not real or there. What it is whether you can drive them. That's where we've got to go from. If you look at their bits, they've got a Liverpool in, yeah, but the Liverpool pulled a bit out there so she can see. Pulled a bit outside of his mouth, but heavily left.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
And the worst thing is to make horses, after doing all this, to walk past where they're going home is the hardest thing to do, you know, and control them. Because they either want to trot or wash it. So right in mid-flight, I should swap places. And Melanie's now on the reins. The tiny little hands, and she's driving them, no trouble at all. This Mel's only got them on smooth cheek, yeah? And Mel's no weight, you know what I mean, and she's driving them. Come in.
Yeah.
Right, okay, here, now turn them. Right round here now. Pull it right on hard, turn the camera around. Keep them on the road, show them how tight they can form. That's it, nice driving. And just keep them at that pace. Now the other thing we've done now, I've got Mel on the reins, as I say, to show you who can do what. But we can't keep swapping them about. When you get on the reins, you know, whenever it is you're coming, you know, when you get on the reins, it wants to be you on the reins and no one else, until they get settled to your hands, you know what I mean? Because every time we change them, it's very good for their training, but also they've got to get settled to that person. Now they know they're going home because this is one of the routes we go, we come back, and that's in sight, but they're not getting excited, they're not pulling on. These pads slip round a bit. And as you can see, they're just going sweet. They're just driving them one-handed. Now if you just put your one rein in each hand off for us and let the reins go slack. Just telling them to walk, and the horses are walking, not speeding up to go home. Now, that to my way of thinking is, you know, good training.